Hey guys, I'm Taylor.
I'm Joe.
And
I clap to let Taylor know at which point to sync up the audio and video.
Even though this is done a long time ago, and last week when Joe said that he learned about not clapping or stomping the table, Joe's not learned yet. And he's yet again clapped right in the microphone. Thank you, Joe.
So, this show, we're going to talk about random stuff.
Okay, well, last week I talked about a lot about my issues, not personal, but a couple issues online with clickbaity shit. This week, Joseph, what do you have in mind as far as random shit?
You know what? I always talk about homes.
Take a drink.
But yeah, every time I mention a home is take a drink. But this time I was going to talk about something different.
Apartments.
Not apartments.
Condos.
Not condos.
Car houses. Motorhomes. RVs. Are we getting like really, are we in the gray area of homes?
Oh man, RVs are so sweet.
Next show.
I'm going to talk about tiny homes.
Homes.
Have you seen Tiny House Nation? Have you seen it?
No. Is that where they buy small homes where you can literally like walk in and take 2 steps and you're out?
No. Well, okay. Yeah. Yes and no. They don't buy the small homes.
They build them out of cardboard.
They build the small homes. It's another one of those home shows where they go, well, you can live on a nice budget by buying a tiny house, and you can move your tiny house around because it has wheels and it's on a trailer,
like a car,
formerly known as a mobile home. But I've been watching Tiny House Nation because it combines a lot of things that I love in life, which is
tiny people,
tiny things. I love little tiny things. They're adorable. And then,
side note: Joe believes that anything with rust on it is steampunk. Just want to leave that.
Rusty things are steampunk. There was a steampunk's tiny house. It was a steampunk. They had
old and rusty.
So okay, so this touches on a lot of things that I love in life: tiny stuff, houses, and
TV shows,
remodeling, and bad TV, which is like a lot of stuff I like, right?
Yeah. But
speaking of steampunk and how great steampunk is, what they were doing now is when I was going to Home Depot the other day, they have like a old fashioned, like, you know, when they take like the pipe rods and they put a mason jar over it, they put a light in it, and they call it like a repurposing. They call it like repurposing and reusing stuff for design. It has like an old timey steampunk type of feel.
It's not steampunk, but okay.
They were selling the kits, like they were selling the piping and the remodeling stuff to make handles for like shower rods or like doors, handles for doors and like lighting, stuff like that. So doesn't it defeat the purpose of repurposing or having a rustic look if they're selling the brand new stuff at Home Depot in the steampunk aisle?
Okay,
doesn't it?
I couldn't follow that.
So they have all the repurposing stuff. It's a fad. I'm going to say it's new because I heard about it 6 years ago. Okay. So you got the tiny house stuff.
Yes.
But what I was thinking about the tiny house, it was really funny. The tiny houses sometimes were costing like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I was thinking, first, couldn't you buy a really good mobile home for that price? And the other thing was...
Or 2 cars.
Or 2 cars, right? The other thing was, like, some places you could actually buy a real house for that price.
Yeah.
Thus eliminating the need for the tiny house. And everyone says, well, tiny house living... They're talking about how it's the next big thing. Well, the show says it anyways, because during the recession, everyone wanted to live for cheap because they couldn't afford their mortgages, blah, blah, whatever, right? So they went to tiny houses because they said, well, you can live mortgage free and rent free and you can travel around the nation with your tiny house. Well, the thing is can you really sell it for the price you put into it? And then the other thing was, if you built the tiny house,
they will come.
What are you going to do after you build the tiny house? And let's say you add something like a dog or a kid or anything else to that.
Build a tiny dog house or a child house.
Where's it going to go in a tiny? It also go together like in the tiny house though, so you can go.
That the same reason they don't build buildings out, they build buildings up.
But it can only be so tall because you got to drive your tiny house under bridges and roadways and things like that. That's why they have the measurements on the highways.
Okay, so what? 12 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, so 12 feet. So
with said removable doghouse.
How big is a child, roughly? How big do they? How does child grow?
Well, I mean, I've seen some really big children, so I don't know.
Last week you said somebody beat up Chuck Norris beat one up.
Yeah, Chuck Norris did beat up a really big child, though. So I don't know. That's real. It's real. I'm not making that up. That really happened. It's actually in his book.
Okay.
Please read it. I'm going to bring the book and I'm going to show you guys in the episode.
Now that you don't have it inside.
That I fully endorse his book. And I like
and the beating of eighth grade.
If we could endorse one
graders.
thing on this program, it would be Chuck Norris's autobiography.
8th grade children by Chuck Norris.
Yeah. He has a lot of other weird stories in it too. Really
Like the Bowflex? You talk about that?
No, he's just a bizarre person that just like you could tell he doesn't really talk to a lot of regular people. It would kind of be like you're talking to Tom Cruise and you're not a Scientologist. Like it's kind of like that thing. Like everything that he said would be weird, everything you said would be weird. So I think Chuck Norris is surrounded by a lot of like karate like kicking Christians. So I think like they're like different from you and I.
Not the psychics guy. He killed himself.
Meaning they're better than we are. All of them.
But not very much though. But back to your at hand. I would say that you could build a. No, you don't. You know, you need just. I would say do some bunk stuff. Do some bunk beds, and that kid don't need anywhere big.
Well, they do that in the tiny house. Like in the tiny house, they got the bunk beds everywhere.
No, they don't need. No, you build. So you have 2 bunk beds. So you and your wife, or you and your whatever, or whoever you're married to. You guys. You guys are.
That's insulting to
guys
who are LGBTQYS listeners.
No, I'm saying whoever you're married to, wherever.
Is that what it is?
Whatever.
LGBTQY. That's right.
Yeah, we do have to cover all of the bases, but
inclusive show.
Yes,
inclusive show. Yeah.
No matter who you're married to, or you're sleeping with, or you have over that time, I don't know your life. You may have fun times. Good job, but
the new We Tell You show. I don't know your life. God, I don't know anything about you.
But whoever it may be, so you have a child appears out of nowhere. You've taken it or you've made it. I don't know. It's up to you. You put.
If a child appears out of nowhere, I think that's a crime.
We don't judge here at We Tell You. We did this before many times before. We don't judge and we don't tell. So
don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
No, that's a bad thing.
I don't ask where a child came from, and don't tell anybody you had it. That's a joke, guys.
So I was watching tiny house stuff, and the tiny house stuff, it was costing so much money. Like, they don't grow in value. They don't grow like a house would grow, right? And there's a lot of maintenance involved. You got to know how to do it yourself, pack yourself, do all that stuff.
Do they have how do they use the bathroom? Do they go to like gas stations, or
they're like a tiny, it's like a small bathroom. It's like a house bathroom, but a miniature size. But it's like the waste system is set up like a mobile home waste system.
So a septic tank, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's have to pump it. Now, how much?
I wouldn't have a septic tank. I would just out the
window?
Park it over. Well, you ever see the chicken coops where the chickens you pick it up and you roll it to a different part of your yard, and the chickens pluck around and fertilize the grass? I would have that as a tiny house and then fertilize the lawn.
So you would have a poop hole, and you'd poop hole, and then you.
Well, if you want to put it in simple terms, that's what we'd be talking about.
You have a poop hole in the corner.
Yeah,
I'm sure with a curtain because we're modest.
But
you have a curtain.
How did we used to do it back in the other days? How did we used to fertilize?
Thursday, Friday.
How did we
Wednesday,
fertilize any of this stuff?
I don't know. They used to have an outhouse with just a hole in the ground.
But it wasn't fertilizing anything. It was just putting stuff in a hole.
Yeah, or they had a chamber pot. You could pee in the middle of the night in your pot in your bed, and then in the morning you toss it out.
That's what I call practical. That's what I call practical, useful, and probably gonna have to order a couple
chamber pots.
Yeah.
2017, making it come back.
I feel like if I got a chamber pot at a party or something, you'd be like, all right, guys, who wants to do a chamber pot stand? you just empty it out and then pour shots into it.
How'd you swirlies how do they attack nerds back then? The swirlies they put their head in chamber.
I don't think
chamber pot and they this to the chamber pot.
I believe Conan O'Brien when he said the nerd angst and the anger towards nerds didn't really exist until the 80s. It was never a thing, and all this, they were just kind of ignored and pushed back and a part of society that just wasn't particularly we weren't kind to.
And yet here we are.
But Revenge of the Nerds in the 80s made it into true raging anger towards the nerds.
All because of Ogre. They thought Ogre.
If you saw a nerd, you'd just be in furious rage. Yeah, but I really do think it is. The 80s has been really a problem in our society for a long time.
I like the 80s. We were both born in the 80s, and that's probably why. You're right. It's been a problem in society in a long time.
Think about all the bad things that come from the 80s, right?
Joe, myself.
Alf, millennials, all that stuff, right? Nothing good came from the 80s. Name good music from the 80s.
I love the 80s music. I'm biased. I love 80s music.
Okay, like what?
I like 80s stuff.
Because if we were talking about the 90s, oh man, freaking STP.
Don't say Dial 7.
I'm not going to say Dial 7 because we already know. Like, I don't need to talk about it because everyone knows that
Dial 7 is a local Orange County band.
It's a great band. This guy has it on YouTube, and it says it's like one guy who has all the Dial 7 stuff, and it's not me.
And it says, please monetize. I need to pay rent.
No, it's like dedicated to like my wife, and then like the song has like a couple of hundred views. Like this was like a big time like national band like at the time, and like nobody knows anything about it. And one of the guys too, my brother said he became a porn star later in life. So that's what he's doing now.
May I ask? May you recite a Dial 7 lyric per the one about the flapjack and the 130 freeway there.
I can't really recite like the lyric because I don't really know what he's saying. But something about living life like a flapjack and on a 133, which was the Laguna Hills Highway down in Orange County. So basically, they lived life flipping like flapjacks off of the highway that takes you to the beach in Laguna Hills. So
make my fucking eyes water.
In the late 90s. Okay, I was listening the other day. I was how
dare you?
I was in the shower listening to The Urge. I don't know if you guys know what The Urge is.
Jump right in. The Urge?
Yeah, The Urge, but The Urge is like a 90s ska band.
I actually like that band.
And then I came out of the shower and my girlfriend was like, what horrible music were you listening to there? And I said, that's called 90s ska music.
And she said, I'll be my parents for a week.
Yeah.
And
I said, I was just like, yeah, like we used to listen to that. It was actually really popular. Like, you know, like Gwen Stefani, like she was in a band and it was kind of like punk ska-ish and it was really famous.
And changed, no doubt. No doubt. Everyone knows No Doubt.
Everyone knows No Doubt. And Gwen Stefani's from Anaheim. Actually, her house was sold just a couple of months ago. Her actual house where she grew up in and had band practice at 3-2 in Anaheim.
That's somewhat creepy, but I'm sure people like that.
No, it was in the OC Register. Like they said, like famous house.
Do you know what I listened to the other day? Last week? You would happy to this?
Flapjacks?
Zebrahead.
Oh, man.
Zebrahead, and before that, I was listening to what the fuck was this news? Zebrahead and somebody else, but Zebrahead mostly. And
like, what's really weird is like Zebrahead.
I like
Zebrahead is at the time they were a really cool band to listen to, right?
It was it was rap and rock.
I listen to the music now, and it is really awful. It is not aged well. It is not like it is some of the worst music I have ever heard. Like, I'm sorry, Zebrahead, but
you'd be happy to know that actually the guitarist went to another band called I Hate Kate, which is a really good band.
I actually do like I Hate Kate. I've heard some of their music.
It's a good album, but then he left to do solo stuff and not so much on like the country kind of stuff. But
they redid what's that song?
Playmate of the Year?
No, I Hate Kate.
Oh,
I don't have my phone. Oh, it's so great. The one that Shiny Toy Guns did a remake of, a song. Taylor has a thought for you while I research what that song was. It's gonna bug me the whole.
I have actually probably the phone on my thing. Anyway, so again, people, we're looking for if you like questions, comments. So you have to if you don't like 90s talk, and if you don't or like 80s talk.
Wait, hold on. If I bring up that we're gonna do a 90s episode, Bob, he's gonna ask so many questions about it. He's gonna want to probably be on the show.
Little wooden boy.
He'll be here. He'll be around. He's got his own apartment now. He's doing great.
But is he better now? For a while, a gentleman named Bob did not like me because I attacked him. I wrote this long paragraph.
He didn't like us, but he likes us now.
Joe said something, and then I wrote this long blog post about it, and then
apparently the song is called Napster, but that is obviously a rip or a download that does not the source.
As you can see, Joe was taking quality time with the show and done a quality job and got nothing. So thank you, Joe, for doing that.
Guys, I don't know what you want from me, but this iPhone is terrible.
Well, let's quickly touch on this as well. iPhones are mom phones. My mom has one. She can use it. Therefore, iPhones are mom phones. Androids are for tech people.
Cheers. Taylor's mom. Think.
Yes, iPhones are for mothers like Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Mom phones.
I had a mom car before. I had a mom SUV. Toyota Sequoia. Now Justin has a mom SUV. He just got one the other day.
Did you really?
The Nissan Armada. Someone hopped over a median and smashed his truck. Now he has a. Now he's got the mom SUV.
Now he's a smashed. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have a nice sporty Kia.
We got to do a whole episode on his real estate transactions in Vegas because he has some hilarious stories about the type of people that they have to evict from houses over there.
I hope we can talk about him like that, like legally. I guess you'd say. I don't know.
You probably
do
could.
you think it's cross state lines?
They have different things that like different rules over there, and they have like constable rule where
Constable.
You just call the constable and he kicks people out of the houses, and he has like hilarious stories.
How do you
them.
play big constable? I mean, he's a police officer, sheriff, but like constable.
Yes.
I mean, is this like the town crier hat? Yeah, like the tricorner hat and like the bell.
He is required to wear a powdered wig, a tricorner hat, and I do believe that he has law powers as well, like super law powers.
Superpowers.
Yeah.
Super law.
Exactly.
Supersedes all law.
So that is a lot of random stuff.
Can you do it? Can you do a show about evictions? I know you probably want to.
Of course, I'm gonna write
why
that down.
why would you
evictions.
even? Why would I even ask?
The
Evictions and all the fun of what you can do and you can't do.
We'll
do a how to avoid evictions, but I want to see all the way to evict, and let's actually get some good stories on people being evicted.
Stories. Got it. Good stories.
Good notes.
Got that one.
Good stories. Joe, anything else to add?
I have notes like a real like broadcaster. They have notes and stuff like being like the Daily Show. John starts to scribble on the papers. I'm gonna scribble too.
You draw circles. The real
comparing myself
real stuff's in the key cards,
to
but we don't have.
Professional.
I think our friend did make a teleprompter, but
teleprompter.
A teleprompter.
What's a teleprompter?
Write that down. Teleprompter.
Teleprompter. Got it.
Yes. On that note, I do believe our show has come to an end. A very random ass show for random ass group people such as us.
Music, stuff, houses, mom cars, mom phones.
All that can be found and much more next Friday. And with us here, we tell you. On Monday, Joe tells you. And Wednesday on the Let Me Rant Show here on Flip Monkey Media and flipmonkeymedia.com. And on Twitter, Flip Monkey Media. And on Tumblr, Flip Monkey Media. On Reddit, Flip Monkey Media. Flip Monkey Media, you type it in Google, all of us come up. Find us, love us, like us, and listen. Watch more. Joe?
Give me things to talk about on We Tell You, Taylor Things, Let Me Rant, We Tell You, Joe Tells You, whatever. Give us stuff.
We all tells you.
Or I'm going to come up with the topics for you, and sometimes they might not be good. They might be about Dial 7.
Oh, God, no.
I could do the whole show on Dial 7. Do the whole thing.
Like a flapjack, we're out.
Like a flapjack.